Okay, we're finally on to the final game, the last game of the tournament, and we were all a bit tired, and I'd gone for a 3-game winning streak, so at this point I wasn't too worried about winning and losing as much. I'd had a great time and a great result with 4 wins and 2 losses. 5 wins and 2 losses up until this point, and of course, expecting a tough opponent, and they gave me one. This is the Wood Elves, and it's the Forest Spirits list. This is the list that has the Treeman Ancient in it. He's got Annoyance of netlings, Murder of Pageant of Shrikes, Spites. Don't even know what all his spells are called, but he can cast Treekin twice. He can fire that little thing at you. Yeah, he's only being hit on 6s and challenges, and he's got tons of Dryads. He's got Way Watchers. Got the cavalry, he's got the Warhawk Riders, and oh my god, 2 mages. And I was just thinking, man, this guy's list is almost as much of a bitch of a list as mine. So I guess we deserved each other. And here's our deployment. From left to right for me, we've got the Tomb Swarm, Chariots with a Scullipult and Casket right over the side. What I did is I just deployed the Scullipult last, just so that he would hopefully deploy his Treeman first so I could see where it was and then deploy him opposite the Treeman. So I do get line of sight to him straight away. But anyway, all the infantry and stuff is on the hill. I freaked up my deployment very badly because initially I was planning on deploying everything on the left-hand side, but then I changed to the right-hand side. I've got the Tomb Guard on the wrong side of the hill, really, so that's a mistake and it could cost me. I've got the Scorpions working in a pair over the side there, the Carrion just ready to fly over the hill or whatever, and my opponent has put down the forest in the centre of the battlefield. There's not too much I could stop him from just using Treekin to move it all the way over to my side and crush me with Dryads and Treeman. He's also got Treekin in the middle. Just going to go to the next photo where you can see from his side what's going on here. He's got that's my opponent over there just placing his Way Watchers just out of sight of my dudes, or 12 inches away or whatever. Over the right-hand side, he's just preparing to move through all of the trees here. He's got all of his army looks beautiful, by the way. It's just absolutely well done. He's got all of his Dryads. He's got his cavalry and everything over here. And the Treeman with the Treekin are moving straight to the center with the forest and planning on speeding themselves up with a few spells. Next photo, I win the roll for the first turn. Yeah, so I think this is just sort of a better look at the deployment. Haven't moved anything in this particular photo, but yeah, I get the first turn, so thinking about what to do. So let's go to the next photo to see what happens. You've obviously got the Way Watchers a bit further over the back there, so having to move the Chariots around to start shooting at them. That's what I'm going to do. I still haven't moved anything yet in this photo, so just all of these photos of deployment, just going to keep moving on. Finally, we've got a picture of actually what happens. Tomb Swarm moves out in front of the Way Watchers, and the Chariots move their way around as well. In the front, I'm just getting the Carrion in front of the forest, hopefully 6 inches away, or 8 inches away from the Mages so that he can't bash me with spells. Scorpions are just moving through, and I'm just trying to rejig everything, moving the Chariots back so the Casket of Souls is in visibility of everything that can see it. Next, before I go to the next photo, let me just talk about what happened with the Catapult and the Treeman. So, this is a story. This is a good story, because the Scullipult in the magic phase shot at the Treeman Ancient. Now, as we know, the Treeman Ancient is buffed up with a normal armor save plus a ward save, and he's got 6 wounds. But the thing is, the Scullipult will negate his armor save, and he won't get a ward save against magical attacks, and the Scullipult does that. And the Scullipult does flaming attacks, so there's a very big dynamic between the Scullipult and the Treeman Ancient in this matchup. If the Scullipult has the potential to wipe out his Treeman Ancient in one go, because it does double wounds, so d6 times 2 is likely to get 6 or more. All he needs is a 3+ to achieve that. And if he loses that Treeman Ancient, he can kiss his hopes of winning this game goodbye. But if I don't kill the Treeman Ancient, then I'm probably going to lose. So the thing that really annoyed me about this game is that it pretty much came down to this one shot. So I fired, and I guessed 40 inches exactly, and it landed 1 inch short, and it partialed the Treeman, partialed the Treekin. Didn't cause any damage because it's just partial. It's only a strength 4 attack, and I had to roll a 4+ to hit him anyway. So then came the shooting phase, and I guessed 41, and it landed square on his head. So fully landing on the Treeman, I rolled the scatter dice and the artillery dice. It came up as a hit, so exactly on the Treeman. So things working out. So pretty much had achieved what I wanted to. So 2+ to wound. I rolled a 1, and then just luck just savaged me at the last moment. I mean, to put it into perspective, I was very lucky to guess it correctly, and I was very lucky to roll a hit. That's only 1 in 3 chance of rolling a hit on the misfire on the scatter dice. But then rolling a 1 to a wound is just like that's just toying with my head, man. It's heartbreaking. I could have rolled if I'd rolled anything else, then the Treeman would have taken at least 2 wounds, and I would have been happy. I mean, I could have killed the Treeman. That would have been beautiful, but it didn't happen. So I was left to face the agony of the rest of the game. Let's go to the next turn. All right, so it's Wood Elves' turn 1. Everybody moves up. Treeman and Treekin move into the forest, and they use Treesinger to move it even further forward. That's pretty much all that happens in the first Wood Elves' turn, apart from the Wood Hunters charging the swarm and killing it. Let's go to the next photo where you can see that happening. Here's the Wood Hunters. I've shot one of them with bows, but they're destroying the swarm, and they'll overrun out of charge arc for the chariots. Next turn, it's Tomb King's turn 2. So the chariots are just moving around. All of my characters are moving over to that side of the board so they can magic move the chariots into the water. The Way Watchers, keep calling the Water Hunters the Way Watchers. And let's go to the next photo. Over the left-hand side, you can see me trying to shoot at everything that's coming in range. All the freaking forest spirits moving up into the forest. Nothing much I can do about that. Everything's blocking line of sight. Next picture, the chariots have, as expected, wiped out the Way Watchers. Got the name right this time. So my right-hand flank's looking pretty good, but he's got a unit of Dryads in that building, which they'll leave the building in short order and threaten my right-hand side flank. So next turn, it's oh my god, it's Wood Elves' next turn. So just moving forward with the Ancient and the Treekin. Managed to get a wound or 2 on the Treekin, so that's looking pretty good. But he's going to be in combat next turn, so I'm going to have to think of something to do about that. Next photo. The Carrion have march block a bunch of Dryads, so he's used 1 unit to attack them and kill them. His sleeve's in the way of the photo, and it's a bit blurred, but you can at least see the Dryads are in combat with the Carrion, and they're going to go down in short order. Next picture, the Wood Elves are just dancing all the way around the side, getting ready to flank charge my Tomb Guard. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Tomb Guard are not going to be able to hold against 2 units of Wild Riders flanking them at the same time. So that's going to be difficult, and the Archers aren't really going to stand up to the Treekin either, and eventually the Dryads will show up as well. Next photo, this is quite cool because the Dryads have left the building, and the Dryads have left the building. Scullipult's misfired, and I can't fire for this turn or the next, so I've turned it around. The King has moved over next to the chariots to magic move them into the Dryads. So next photo, you can see what happened